Hello, everyone. This is Gene, and I'm gonna be doing my first, proper video via streaming. I know I've held random streams before, but I figured maybe I should use streaming to maybe cover articles or other type of content I would usually make for a video. So I figured maybe start the stream a little early, allow some people to come in, and then probably about 6 o'clock, at least 6 o'clock New York time, I'll actually go over this interesting article on the Daily Caller, which talks about the what's the name? Here we go. The National Center for Sexual Exploitation, also known as NCOSE, focusing on the gaming platform Steam, in particular, accusing them of promoting sexual violence against people, in particular women, because they feature video games and whatnot that are adult content. So come in, relax, and about 10 minutes or so, I'll get started on the video. So if anybody's in the chat, come in, say hi. Just waiting for some people to come in, get a few people in, get some conversations going, and then at 6 o'clock New York time, start covering the article. So this is going to be a read and react, I guess you could say, and you guys can react along with me if you so choose. So while we're waiting, any people? Got two people here. Come in and say hi, please. How's everybody's day been thus far? It's been a nice day over here. Got off work about an hour ago. It's been pretty good today. It's been raining a lot over here though. Been raining a lot here in the city. Alternates between raining and sunlight, raining and sunlight. The weather can't make up her mind. So, anybody want to talk about something while we wait for some more people to come in? I see there's at least two viewers. Come in and say hi. Anything interesting going on? Just chill and relax and just wait till it's time to start streaming. If anybody has any questions, anything that they want to talk about, it's free. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone is well. So I'll probably get started a little early. Maybe as I go through it, some more people will stop by. So we'll see what happens. Sorry for the shaky cam. All right, well, might as well try to get started now. So, to everyone, welcome to the first, I guess, article stream. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over an article on the Daily Caller, right, about the National Center for Sexual Exploitation, also known as NCOSE, focusing on STEAM in particular, accusing them of sexual, or rather promoting sexual exploitation. So it says here, video game company accused of promoting sexual violence, abuse, rape. And the article is by Mary Margaret Olahan. Interesting name. And it says here, during Sexual Assault Awareness Month, the National Center for Sexual Exploitation, NCOSE, is focusing on the video game platform Steam. NCOSE accused Steam. Hello! Hey, Loki-san! NCOSE accused Steam of promoting video games that include sexual violence and normalize sexual abuse of others. When video games include sexually graphic and degrading themes, the user is not only a voyeur, but an active participant in staging the scene. Steam should immediately change its policies to stop hosting such sexually explicit material. Executive Director of NCOSE, Dawn Hawkins, said in a statement. I don't time these things, man. I don't time them. Anyway, so first things first. Here's the first thing that I take issue with when it comes to this article, saying here that when video games include sexually graphic and degrading themes, the user is not only a voyeur, but an active participant in staging the scene. Okay, that's the same argument people use against porn, and it hasn't worked yet. So that's the first thing. All right, the second thing is that it says that Steam should immediately change its policies to stop hosting such sexually explicit material. Well, here's the thing. What is the definition of sexually explicit? What is that? That is way too vague a term. Oh, hey, Loki-san. I'm not talking about a game in I'm not talking about a game in this case. What I'm talking about is the National Center for Sexual Exploitation, and they're accusing the gaming platform Stream of promoting sexual violence, abuse, and rape. So I'm just going to go through the article and read and respond to it. I figured this would be some good content for streaming as I try to learn about how this whole streaming thing works. So that's the content. It's more about games being accused of something than necessarily about a particular game. So it says here, the National Center for Sexual Exploitation accused the popular video game company Steam of allowing video games that promote sexual violence, including rape. Okay, first of all, in this context, what do you mean by sexual violence? Sexual violence is an umbrella term that can include anything from giving someone elevator eyes to actual rape. So number one, what exactly is meant by sexual violence? And two, what games are out there that are promoting sexual violence? The only video game I can legitimately think of that ever actually promoted sexual violence, where sexual violence was the end goal, was Custer's Revenge, which for those who maybe are not familiar with it, is an old 80s adult game. Yeah, controversy nonsense that's happening. Oh yeah, they always come up with this stuff again, Loki-san. I've been hearing it all of my life, growing up as a fighting game fan. But you know, these type of arguments, and in particular bad faith arguments, continue. But here's the thing. So okay, outside of Custer's Revenge, which as I was saying was a video game about raping a woman, right? Raping an Indian princess. A game that went nowhere. It's one of the most reviled games in gaming history. What game promotes rape? Even games like, say, well, it wasn't really a game; it was more of a mod, like the hot coffee mod thing from like GTA. Yes, that was a sex mini game, but it was not promoting rape. It was consensual sex. So what in the world are they talking about? But anyway, it says Steam, a digital distribution platform for video games, allegedly allows multiple games on the platform portraying sexual violence, according to NCOSE, including Mira, Love Vibe, Aria, My Servant and the Stranger, Astencia, and House Party. The platform has more than 90 million active users and 1 billion registered users and is increasingly popular in China. The most alarming part of this for me is the increasingly popular in China part. But anyway, I did look up these games briefly, Mirror and Love Vibe and all that, and they seem to be H games, meaning hentai, meaning what were you expecting when it comes to this type of game? It's a sex game. It's a porn game. This is like this is like finding an old man's porn stash and somehow being surprised and shocked that an old guy has a porn stash. It's like, what were you expecting, really? It says the video gaming platform has not responded to multiple requests for comment. Eh, I should Resident Evil 3 remake. Oh, awesome, Loki-san. The video game platform has not responded to multiple requests for comment from the Daily Caller News Foundation. The platform made a June 2018 decision to allow all types of games except for ones that are illegal or straight up trolling. Well, again, I wonder how exactly you determine that. I don't know how you determine, well, I guess illegal to just check the laws or straight up trolling, but okay. And then it says here, if we allow your game onto the store, it does not mean we approve or agree with anything you're trying to say with it, Steam said in a June 2018 statement. If you're a developer of offensive games, this isn't us siding with you against all the people you're offending. There will be people throughout the Steam community who hate your games and hope you fail to find an audience, and there will be people here at Valve who feel exactly the same way. It continues, however, offending someone shouldn't take away your game's voice. We believe you should be able to express someone shouldn't take away your game's voice. We believe you should be able to express yourself like everyone else and to find others who want to play your game. But that's it. I agree with Steam here. I absolutely agree with them in this situation. Right? They, as the saying goes, right? I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. So I think that's a good stance on their part. Believe it or not, female get their flower or something. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Let's just say that I'm old enough to have seen a few things. So anyway, it says here, NCOSE maintains that Mirror depicts rape scenes and even has a meter to measure the amount of pain and discomfort being inflicted by the player. Well, here's the thing. I went to the NCOSE website to try to get their side of it, and yeah, the pictures that they show of the games are heavily censored, which makes sense given what their stances are. But how do I put it? It's obviously an adult game, right? It is obviously an adult video game, and at least given what they show, I'm like, okay, that's not rape, that's BDSM, that's a scene, that's a BDSM scene. You are confusing the two. But anyway, it says here that My Servant and the Stranger Astencia promotes rape scenes and sexual harassment. and that House Party contains nudity, sex via intoxication, blackmail, and deception. Steam has reportedly updated House Party to censor nudity, NCOSE added. Well, again, here's the thing. First of all, these, at least to my knowledge, are H games. What are you expecting from H games? Right? They function similarly to hentai and to other forms of adult entertainment. Okay, that is not the same as, say, sexual slavery or something. The understanding and intent is that whatever you see is ultimately consensual, or at least that's what they want us to believe. Now, whether or not that's true is up to each individual viewer, but again, it's not the same. And it says here, contains nudity. Okay, well, here's the thing. Plenty of things contain nudity. Commercials featuring little children, right? Little babies feature nudity. Are we suddenly going to stop that too? There's just so much vagueness here, and that's what concerns me about them. It says parents need to know that these games normalize the sexual use and often abuse of others. Again, name me a game that actually does that. Give me context. You don't just say it. End of it has some very sexually graphic things at the end. In particular, the pink alien man. And then, of course, you have Male Rider. What a name. And to degrade, the intent was between these two characters. Here's the rather passionate culmination of it. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to like it. I will say that for myself, I found those scenes a bit too explicit for my taste, given that this is principally an action game. But they're only one scene in a huge game that is hours upon hours of non-sexual content. More importantly, those scenes were the absolute last thing that game had to worry about. But moving on, Hawkins added, to make matters worse, since Steam implemented an anything goes policy with few exceptions, sexually exploitative games on Steam have skyrocketed, going from just 700 games tagged for the keyword nudity in 2017 to now 3,911 in 2020. I repeat, first of all, nudity is not the same thing as sex. It is not the same thing as sex. Nudity is just that, nude, being naked. You're born naked. When you get into the shower, you are naked. And unless someone's... So, nudity does not automatically mean sex. And then when it comes to, okay, sexual... But nudity is not sex. That's like arguing that because it features Chun-Li naked in one scene in the shower. No, it doesn't. It's principally about... Let's see here. And that says, now more than ever, families with young education controls roll out. Need to be parents. This was true when I was a kid in the early 1990s, and it is true today. If you do not want your children viewing adult material, then make sure, as much as you can, that they are not viewing adult material. It is not on Steam to clean up. It's not their job or their place to worry about your sensitivities or your children. Anyway, content not appropriate for all ages or may not be appropriate for viewing at work. Continuing, it says Steam states on the platform's website that Mirror may contain content not appropriate for all ages or may not be appropriate for viewing at work. Apparently, it has the tags of nudity or sexual contacts. What more do you want? It's letting you know that, hey, here is the potentially objectionable or controversial content. So what more do you want out of this? And then it says here that content posted the strong language, alcohol, drug use, sex, and mild violence. The last part. And of course, what this particular group wants, it's illegal. It generally speaking, content has a right to exist. People have a right to make what they want to make. Everything from now it says here, Steam currently hosts and allows video games that portray rape scenes and therefore gamify sexual violence. So talking about the porn games that this company looked up as proof of what they're talking about. What games are you talking? Some games that gamify sex. Of course, the most famous version probably being the GTA Hot Coffee mod. But that yes, there are some games that gamify sex. Of course, games to GTA games to rape people. So again, what games are you talking about here? And then it says a socially irresponsible policy in a society dealing with the consequences of sexual assault and exploitation. In other words, Me Too. And guess what? One of the biggest people who were caught and brought down. Rape is not a game, Hawkins. Steam's platform is especially important during Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Parents should be especially aware of what video games their children should be playing during quarantines and extended periods of time on the internet, she said. Well, here's the thing. No matter whether it's quarantine and they're home longer, right? What these kids are and are responsible for the dozen lists since 2013 to name and are you talking about? Because I don't know of a video game that objectification, sexual violence, or sex trafficking. So tell me again. Then you have this Dirty Dozen thing from the NCOSE website itself, and then it says here the problem in big letters. The problem. Steam needs to step up its game. Steam needs to step up its game. Steam is a popular gaming platform with over 90 million active users and approximately 35 million users who are minors, selling many popular and indie games that range from action, strategy, adventure, and more. Steam was all violence and harassment. Point. What type of games? What type of games? 5. And sexual content can be any and everything from the true love to graphic sex on adult websites. So again, what exactly do you mean by sexual content? They claim selling games is causing sexual exploitation. Hey, I would honestly say that what they're claiming is last year when they were trying to argue that playing as a Nazi in a video game due to white nationalist or neo-Nazi sounding the same alarm with the same hypocrisies that used to be leveled against games in the 90s for the violent content in games like Mortal Kombat. One of society's most popular sectors, gaming. Proof. Give me proof. To make matters worse, Steam community backlash over the removal and censoring of many games acts such as rape and graphic nudity. Okay, again, graphic nudity. I repeat, Mass Effect Andromeda features graphic nudity. Are we suddenly going to claim graphic is now sexual exploitation? Do they realize the argument they are making? They are they are lacking any sort of context. To now nearly 4,000 in 2020. Again, to now nearly 4,000 in 2020. Again, the keyword nudity. The key text. I repeat, nudity is not automatically sexual in nature. Those games are rated M, are they not? Thank you. Exactly. There are thousands of these games on Steam. Some are worse than others, but all share a common theme. Sexual exploitation is okay as long as it's a game that occurs. When video games include sexually graphic and degrading themes, we've been through this famous pornography. Get your complaint straight. Of course, from the consequences of campus sexual assault, military sexual assault, and rising child-on-child sexual assault, we see that normalizing the sexual use and abuse of others in video games. No homes, unstable people, right? Due to circumstances, right? Rough upbringings, falling in with the crowd, abusing sex and drugs and alcohol, or living very unhealthy lifestyles. So many real life issues contribute to these issues of sexual assault. And actually, in my line of work, although it doesn't come up too often, we have had people come in alleging, and I've been at my job for now 10 years. No one ever said the video game made him do it. No one ever claimed these things. Right? Show me what video game is actually